Are you projecting or are you listening to understand? Hi, everyone, and welcome. I am Lady Drasmin, one of the co-hosts for the podcasts He Vibes, She Dives. And this is my solo episode in the series topic, honoring the God and Goddess in our partners. So what is a partner? I have heard across time and experience, a partner is our better half, something I do not agree with at all. Because for me, and for so many I have spoken to who are in healthy partnership, a partner is someone who is in their wholeness, and you come together in your wholeness, and you meet each other not as a lesser or greater, but as two sovereign wholes coming together in divine union. So many relationships struggle, not because love is absent or the chemistry is not there, but because we stop seeing the person in front of us and we begin projecting, relating to our expectations, our stories, our wounds. And so when I speak about honoring the God and Goddess in our partners, I am not talking about putting someone on a pedestal. A partner is not here to fulfill an archetype, to save us, to complete us, or to carry our unmet needs. And when I speak of honoring the God and Goddess in our partners, I'm not talking about worship. Although devotional, consensual worship is and can be quite delicious. I have definitely experienced devotional worship from partners in the past, and it is a profoundly different experience than pedestalizing and viewing someone as greater. The moment we stop listening and start assuming, we stop meeting the other where they are. And I'm going to invite you to expand beyond partnership in this conversational field and look at this concept of projecting or listening to understand as a measure to reevaluate all of your relationships. Because yes, in partnership, we are the most intimate, we are the most close. Yet in all relations, we are given a mirror that helps us learn how to witness the sacred within another human being without losing sight of their humanity and divinity coexisting. And the way we are able to do so and witness that in another is only when and after we are able to do so for ourselves. So let's go a little deeper and talk about reverence versus projection. First of all, what is reverence? Reverence sees what is present. Reverence is respect in action. And that respect in action creates intimacy. Into me I see. Reverence says, I see that I am present. I choose to love myself. I choose to accept myself. I choose to work on myself. And so I'm into me seeing, creating intimacy by seeing within, and thus developing a relationship of wholeness with myself, my shadow, my light, everything in between. And the more I do that within myself, the more I'm in intimate relationship with myself, I can truly listen to understand another who is in front of me because I'm no longer projecting my unmet needs onto the other person. Now, projection happens the moment we make someone else responsible for completing us, saving us, healing us, embodying our ideal. Projection sees what it wants to see. Now, there is a fine line here of seeing someone's potential and standing by their side and encouraging them to step into that potential. The dance is to make sure that you do not get lost in idealization. Because when we step into idealization, we have moved from reverence, from respect in action, into the projection. True respect, that honor, that reverence says, I see your divinity, I see your humanity, both are welcome. I don't have to like certain aspects, but I accept your sovereign wholeness. And sometimes love grows from that. The moment we stop listening and start assuming or start living in our own mind and our fantasy, we stop meeting ourselves and the other person. So projection is what creates fantasy, not seeing potential. There's a big difference between seeing the potential of one another and projecting a fantasy onto them based on our insert whatever here. This brings me into that piece of listening to understand. Many people listen to defend, correct, respond, be right, and very few listen to understand because understanding requires presence. And presence is setting aside you to receive the other person. And it is a practice. It is a practice that I am constantly in. We develop and strengthen our ability to understand when we learn how to listen to ourselves. Where am I not hearing myself? How many of you have ever found yourself in a conversation where you realize that you or the other person are talking because they need to hear themselves? I've been there. Now, this is not to shame our need to be heard and validated. It's very human to want to be acknowledged. And I have spoken into my ABC practice where A, the letter A, is acknowledge. I have spoken about my ABC check-in communication practice, how to listen, to understand, and how to express yourself cleanly, clearly, calmly. When we learn how to listen to understand, we start listening. What does my body need today? What do I want to eat? What do I want to drink? Do I want to give more energy out? Or am I feeling a little low and I need to receive today? And do I allow myself to receive? When we are not listening, we are in defensiveness. When we're not listening, we're anxious, in resistance, in fight. We need to rewrite. We need to control. But the more we understand, the more we listen, the more we soften. And then we start attuning to our natural rhythms, and we start being more in flow. And the flow state allows us to recognize when we are able to be present for another or not. Understanding requires patience, okay? Listening doesn't require anything, but understanding requires patience. And so, can you even allow yourself to listen without attaching meaning, without feeding into the need to respond or correct or dismiss? I remember a therapist I visited over a decade ago, a couples counselor, and I was just talking. As you guys can tell, I love to talk, which is actually true, but not true. I am deeply introverted and I love being invited into conversation, but I'm also very selective about where I bring my voice in. Anyways, in relationship, we feel safe. So we open up and we express, and suddenly we have someone who sees us, who wants to hear us, who wants to get to know us, like, OMG, where have you been my whole life? It's wonderful. And then once we've gotten it all out, we start thinking about, okay, well, that's in the past. Now what's in the future? And then too many of us get stuck in that what we want rather than what is here now. And the funny thing is, the future is made of the moments of the now. It took me a long time to recognize that simple wisdom, but it is that simple. This here now moment is all we really have. And so in this moment, are you present or are you distracted by your own inner noise, by something outside of you? Are you steady, witnessing what is arising within you, what is arising around you? And then you can make an empowered choice to respond rather than react. Now, many of us have to unlearn certain habits and patterns before we can learn healthy habits and patterns. I'm over here raising my hand. Anyone else? Anyone else? I know that I'm not alone in this, right? So we can do this untangling process by unasking the questions, by looking at what we have not asked, by looking at where we are attaching meaning instead of allowing meaning, if it exists. Where are we internalizing and making something about us that really has nothing to do with us? Maybe the other person just wanted to be heard. So the more we listen, and the more we listen to understand, the less we project. Again, a partner, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a mirror of relating outside of you is not here to complete you. They're here to provide a mirror of your divinity and your humanity, which is infinite because you are infinite. And you are so bright and you are so infinite that you shine because there is the only you. You are the only you. If you're one of those like me who believes and knows about past lives, you have a beautiful soul that has cycled through this earth plane experience and been polished time and time again. In this now moment, you are the best and highest expression of you that you have ever been. And this moment is the best moment that you could possibly be in, because you have the power of choice in this moment to shine or withdraw and freeze and shut down. And from that state of being so closed off, we are not present in the moment anymore. And then we start to leak our unresolved trauma, our fears, whether they're genuine or they are misplaced, because fear can be an illusion. Sometimes fears are valid, and sometimes they are a little distorted because of experiences we've had. And I have a master course, Quantum Leaping Through Fear, that is a little video guide where I break down fear, an acronym, and show you how to alchemize fear to turn it into fuel. Today, I'm going to break a different word down for you. And this is one I've not shared before. And if you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If this is you returning, thank you for being in the field and continuing to be present with me and my co-host and our offerings. So wonderful to have you here. Thank you, everyone, for your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscribes. It is truly a blessing to share this space with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for shining and your light, and I can feel it. And I've spoken into a different acronym before. RISE. Revel in self-excellence. Rise and shine, beloved one. Rise, revel in yourself, your beauty, your individuality, your soulful expression, your creative imagination, your dreams that are there for you because you are meant to have that. Anything that you can dream of and think of, as long as there is no harm to Mother Earth and other sentient sovereign beings, you are absolutely worthy of receiving. So rise and shine came to me many, many years ago when I was working through my own projections and immaturities and woundedness and those many aspects of shadow work. So today's video, I will be breaking down the word shine for you. Anybody want to take some guesses? When we rise and shine, we start to honor the sacred within, which is our humanity and our divinity. We are collectively, as I am recording this video, experiencing a rise of the sacred sovereign, a remembrance of the power of the I am, that is me, that is you, that is all of life. So, what does Shine say? Shine says, surrendering hubris invites new excellence. So rise, you open your sweet little, sleepy little eyes, and you're like, oh, it's a new day, or OMG, I slept in and it's late, or I took a delicious nap and it's after dark and now I get to play. But you open your sweet little sleepy eyes and you rise. You are awake. It's time to revel in your self-excellence. And then we shine, we stretch our arms and stretch out our muscles, and stretch out our legs. We rise and shine, wiggling toes and fingers. And what is shine? we surrender hubris to invite new and deeper layers of our own excellence. And as within, so without. So the universe, life is always going to mirror where you are. If you are in chaos and destruction, confusion, there is some kind of chaos and destruction and confusion happening within you. Now, collectively, there is a lot of chaos and confusion because we are in this rebirth timeline as I'm recording this. So discernment plays a part, right? Again, not internalizing everything that we see, just recognizing that we are just in this human experience together. Okay, so surrendering hubris invites new and deeper layers of excellence, right? We rise, we get up, we're going about our day, reveling in our self-excellence and simultaneously surrendering hubris. Now, what is hubris? Hubris is pride unchecked, which is basically arrogance. Now, pride is healthy. Pride is what feeds our confidence. Pride is what motivates us to continue to grow, continue to expand, continue to learn, continue to soften, continue to deepen. Pride is what stabilizes our esteem. However, when pride goes into, I already know who I am, now we're entering hubris territory. When pride says, I know what you mean. You don't have to say anything. I know what you're doing. I know what you need. I know what you want. We just start projecting, right? The I suddenly turns into you. I know you, rather than I know some aspects of you, but there is more to discover. See that subtle line? I hear what you're saying right now, and this is how I'm interpreting, but maybe I'm not exactly getting what you mean. See the difference? Hubris closes the door to discovery. Hubris is that stuck attitude that says, I'm already here and I am the greatest ever did done there ever has been. And you know what? I know what they want. I know what they need, and I'm not listening. I'm not listening. I'm not listening to myself. I'm not listening to my children. I'm not listening to my friends. I'm not listening to my partners. I'm not listening to anyone because I have all the answers and I know it all. That's hubris. Pride says, you know what? I have wisdom and there's always room to grow. So hubris closes the door around experiencing the fullness of life. Hubris closes the door around experiencing the unique individuality and wholeness of the sovereign in front of you, whether that's your children, your spouse, your friend, your family, whoever. And surrender opens that door. Surrender is just letting go of the need to be right. Surrendering hubris means remaining teachable. Surrendering hubris means allowing yourself and allowing those who are in your field of experience to discover and reveal yourself and themselves again and again and again. So if you're curious, am I in pride or am I in hubris, Lady Drasmin? Ask yourself, has ego convinced you that you already understand or know something? If the answer is yes, there's the hubris, there's the arrogance. That ego, well, he's a fine dancer, isn't he? And I talked about the ego in my podcast episode for the series Spiritual Ego and Personal Ownership. And I did break down the word ego in that episode. So if you have not caught it yet, highly encourage you to go and check out how to befriend the ego, right? Because when you befriend the ego, you're able to recognize when you're in that slippery slope of pride and hubris. Okay? Every relationship eventually reaches a point where you must choose between being right and being curious. That includes that relationship with yourself. And that's that I word. It invites. Curiosity creates space, and questions invite connection, and connection sweetens intimacy, and intimacy deepens trust, and trust grows relationship. And for new, every conversation, every question, every curiosity is an opportunity to meet yourself again in a different way, in a new way. Same with another person. Not as who we were a minute ago or even 10 seconds ago, but who as I am now, emerging, ever unfolding, ever evolving. When we remain willing to learn, when we remain curious, when we remain open, that's when we attain excellence, because excellence is not perfection. Excellence is the willingness to keep showing up with awareness, humility, care, consistently. There is a huge difference between seeing the divine and the humanity in someone and loving them for who they are and worshiping or dismissing them. And when we remain curious, when we let go of the need to control ourselves, another sentient sovereign being, then we are living from heart-led truth. Shine, surrender this attachment to belief that you know everything there is to know about yourself or someone in your field of experience. And when you do that, you will be able to see, not only see clearly, but you'll be able to recognize those red flags. You'll be able to truly trust your own discernment. And that's how we honor the sacred. The sacred is when we listen, when we stay present, even when the uncomfortable truths, when we honor ourselves or the needs of another person, whether that's tenderness or space or nourishment or whatever might be needed in the moment. Ask, how can I love myself deeper in this moment? How can I love you deeper? How can I listen more? And if you don't know how to respond, you are heard, you are held. I hear me, I hold me, I love me. You don't have to understand it. Listening costs nothing. That's what that therapist said to me. Listening doesn't cost you anything. Can you just listen to your partner? It took me a few years to learn how to listen without all the noise in my head. The sacred is not in perfection and trying to get everything right. It is found in presence. And that doesn't say that your chaos goes away. That just means that, oh, okay, my chaos is over here right now, but you're asking to be heard. So I'm going to listen to you. And then maybe I can ask for space afterwards so you can hold space for my chaos, right? It's taking turns. That's how relationships grow. We take turns. Somewhere recently, I was talking about how important it is to not only learn the art of communicating and expressing ourselves, but also learn how to trust that another has the ability to hold and witness us. And this is how the God and Goddess is revealed. Not by the title, oh, I have the Shiva Shakti energy in me. I have God, Goddess frequency in me. I am awakened and I am tapped into the 13th frequency. No, the God and Goddess is revealed in how we show up every single moment of our lives. And we can show up messy, we can show up raw, we can show up and we can have a hard day, right? But there is an opportunity here for repair. There's an opportunity here for growth. There's an opportunity here to delayer maybe one or more of those programs that don't allow us to trust in the love that we have for ourselves. Like, hello, everybody place a hand on your heart and feel this heart is beating just for you. And then, yeah, of course, you can choose to remain open and share of that love that is all for you with another, whether that's a human being, an animal, the earth. This is how we develop the sacred. The sacred is not something you just find in ceremony or in a temple or in a holy place. The sacred is in this moment. The sacred is found in how we listen, how we receive, how we give, how we repair, how we apologize, how we stay accountable, how we stay humble, how we stay curious, how we celebrate, how we mourn, how we stay present, especially when things become uncomfortable. To honor the God and Goddess in our partners is to realize, to remember, to recognize within ourselves that every single one of us carries wisdom, beauty, wounds, gifts, challenges, insecurities, strengths, and lessons. And the invitation, the takeaway above all, that I hope you leave with is to not place anyone above us, but rather to meet ourselves and thus another fully. Divine, reflecting divine, human to human, soul seeing soul. Hmm. Hmm. Rise and shine. Rise, awaken, open your sleepy little eyes, give thanks that you woke up today, that your heart kept pumping through the night, and now you are awake. And okay, you might feel a little low, and that's okay. Sending you some beauty from this stunning, stunning Easter lily to sweeten and brighten and soften your moment in this now. Rise, revel in the wholeness that is you. You are all of your ancestors. You are the answered prayer. You are the walking dream. You are the excellence. Simply because you exist. And as you go through your day and you're shining, stay curious, surrender that hubris, stay curious, stay open, stay in discovery. Our ability to play and create is the highest form of excellence. As we continue forward and as I close this conversation, thank you again for being here. Would love to hear what landed for you, if there was an aha moment for you, what resonated for you, or if you have just something sweet to say, go ahead and put it in the comments. And if I get it before our monthly live series recap with my co-host, we'll bring it up in the live. If not, I'll respond to the comment, maybe both. So in closing, as you move forward from this listening, maybe you're watching the video. As you move forward in your life, notice where you think you already know someone. Yourself, your child, a parent, a partner, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor. Before your next meaningful conversation, ask yourself, what assumptions and projections am I potentially carrying into this interaction? And then replace that assumption with one question. We don't have to break it all apart. We don't have to dissect everything, right? One step at a time, one breath at a time. Instead of projecting, listen to understand. Listen longer than is comfortable for you. Develop your muscle of steadiness, especially when things get uncomfortable. Become curious and stay curious instead of being certain or defensive. And notice what changes. Ask yourself this deeper question of where might surrendering hubris invite a new, a sweeter, a deeper layer of excellence within myself, with my children, with my partner, with my family, with my friends, with my soulkin, with the earth, with all sovereign sentient beings? Where can I let my shoulders drop and shine a little more of my light and inspire another just through my existence, just through my presence, just through my being, to be more of their excellence? Honoring the God and Goddess in our partners is not about seeing someone as more than they are in this current moment. It's not about living in the potential of what they could be. It's not about living in the past of what has happened. Yes, even if it was 10 minutes ago. It's about seeing them as they are in this moment. Not projection, not fantasy, not expectation. Presence, steady. Because the more deeply we learn to see ourselves, to listen to ourselves, to know ourselves, the more deeply we learn how to see, receive, and love another. Rise and shine, beloved one. Thank you so very much for being here today. Thank you for waking up today. And thank you for choosing to remain curious as you rise and shine.